and you have to calculate it. Even in a small city, it seems like an absolute waste of time to do, but again, it's something that has to be measured to determine whether it's important or not. And since you'd have under 100 employees eligible to be on your health plan, you can do what's called an alternative calculation. It'll save you a little bit of money versus having to do an actuarial. So the two options that are out there, there are actuarial firms that do it by the alternative method, and there's also a calculation that GASB has published to walk through, and we can help you with that too. So it's definitely a new requirement that has to be implemented for next year, and it's probably the only one in the next couple of years that would require some significant planning.
All right. Any questions?
I have one. Why doesn't a person sign this report?
Why doesn't a person? What, you mean the firm?
Yeah.
Well, because we're a partnership.
I mean, who do you go after when I find your mistakes?
Me. The firm is the entity. So that, yeah, you would come after us.
Is that common practice?
Yeah, almost all. I mean, there's individual sole practitioners out there, but for the most part, they're going to be limited liability partnerships.
I would think the CEO or the president would sign it.
Well, no, I guess I've never seen one like that.
Okay.
Anything else? Thank you, Mr. McDonald.
All right, I appreciate it. Thanks.
Yes. Yep. I'm going to let him sit down. Let him get comfy.
So moved to accept the 2008 annual audit and management letter.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion from Mr. Lang, a second from Ms. Underfirth to accept the 2008 audit report as presented by Mr. McDonald. Is there any other conversation or discussion, questions? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Nay. No nays. That's unanimous. Thank you very much. Thanks, Mr. McDonald. Yep. 8.3, large assembly permit for Jimmy's Classic Rod and Custom Event.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, council members. Jimmy CRC has applied for a large assembly and road closure permit for June 6, 2009. The application is for a car show and Cackle Fest. They're requesting to close 100 blocks of North and South Meridian and the 100 blocks of East and West Main from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Car show is scheduled to take place from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. on June 6th. Road closure application from Scott County has been sent in, approved, and is on file. The applicant would be providing 2 portable toilets and will not require additional security. The only thing I forgot to mention is we will also be, we don't have yet, but we will be requiring a certificate of insurance after that. So with that, staff is recommending that for the council to approve the large assembly permit for Jimmy CRC. That is staff report, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Murphy. Are there any questions for staff regarding the large assembly permit? And a quick question, is it automatic that once a street is closed that drinking on the street is allowed? That they can have open containers?
I don't know the answer to that. Do you? Yeah.
Because the assumption, of course, for all the big events downtown, paint St. Patrick's Day. And
No, you cannot drink any time with open containers on the street.
okay.
They do.
Yeah, of course they do. Yeah. Well, it might be something that we need to look into. I'm a very close neighbor of this event. I don't have an issue with it. It went okay last year. The cackling wasn't so bad. We lived with it, you know.
I have
Yes,
a
Mr.
similar problem that we discussed last year was the 10 a.m. thing, the closing of that street. There's people that are trying to do business there, and we're shutting them down awfully early. And I think we had some discussion on that last year. I don't remember. Did we start at 10 last year in the morning?
It was closed at 10 was what it was last year. Yep. I believe the car show didn't start till 11, but the street closed at 11.
I was at the car show last year. It brought a lot of people to shop, I thought. Otherwise, there would be nobody there. I think it helps shoppers. I do.
The people that have talked to me are not in that same light. They would disagree with you. But,
Well,
that's
okay.
okay.
Last year, the bakery complained, and they had full house. And they all went up and bought donuts, but they still weren't happy with it.
Any other direct feedback to the city about this event from last year and complaints from merchants? Anybody remember? We've had a change in police chief since then, so anything that you guys come up with anecdotally? Have you had some complaints directed towards you, Mr. Lang?
No, not since last year.
Okay.
I think more complaints come from the other, like St. Patrick's Day. This year was pretty bad.
Yeah.
They didn't clean the streets up. They cleaned the streets up when the road was closed, but like the street from Stephen's to the Catholic Church, the next morning, people going to church had to walk through that mess of cans.
Yeah.
I mean, they cleaned up the streets that they used,
Right.
but people go by your home also.
Yeah,
The street
oh,
is
yeah.
very dirty, you know, to
Yeah,
get to their
there's-
cars.
Yes, they do. It's one of the things we tolerate, because then we have the privilege of living in inner city Belle Plaine. It's quite nice otherwise. Okay, well, we'll look at this permit here. Any other questions? Anything, Mr. Trost? No?
There's no other